Right. I'm not sure which order I'm doing what bits in here. I'm just taking it. I seem to be recorded loads of bits of video, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to collate them all or keep them separate. I'm on with the Mini's coolant system, and I'm trying to figure out, from an overheating perspective, what it might be. So I'm going for the basic and the freebie stuff first. Well, not first. I've done the thermostat. I've done the radiator or the coolant filling cap first, and it's still overheating. And then I realised there was quite a complicated bleeding process to go through. So I'm now going to do that bleeding process and show you through it. I'll probably include it on the whole video, but possibly this will be separate because there's a lot of different communication about there. There's a few different videos, and some of them say there's this many bleed screws and some say there's not. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I'm using the Bangers and Cash video as well that I'd watched to see if I can find a way to do it, and I'll share it with you and let you know if I get any problems. So first of all, what I've done is, well, these bits have already been taken apart to get to it. So you don't need to do this for this particular thing. There is one screw down there. You can see that one. You see it's quite clear there. I've just loosened that off a crack to make sure there's enough to get the coolant out of it. That is the feed into the cabin for the heater matrix. So I assume that's why it's a complicated process, because you've got to put the fans on, you've got to do everything else to try and get all the water through the system without any air. The second bleed valve is here, and the third one is it's tucked under there, but you can make it out. I've got the socket on it. I don't know if you can. Oh, so you can see it's just tucked in there. Hang on. There you go. You see it? Just hide it in there. Now, the fact that that's not a screw and it's a little bolt makes me wonder whether that's actually required or not. But someone said it is, so I'm going to use that anyway. The first thing I have done before I got onto this, I can't see it very well, is to take the coolant out. I didn't manage to catch it all. I dropped most of it, to be fair, which was lucky because not a lot came out. So I think, oh, there we go, just loosening that off. I think that there's definitely a distinct lack of coolant in this engine. Whether that's the cause of my current overheating or not, whether it's the water pump, that's the next thing we're going after, will be the water pump. So the bottom hose is on this side of the engine on this car. I haven't got an air conditioning, right? I haven't got any air conditioning in this car. So the bottom coolant hose is down there. Can't really see it. I'll just pop that off there. And that's quite rusted. Doesn't look like it's been off many times in its life either. Then the filler neck. So what I understand now is that the bleed screws are open. It's now just a case of putting the bottom hose back on, and then I'll come back to you. So I've already got that wrong. I've got my list this time, printed on a piece of paper, because my other list's on my phone. Drain it, do the bleed valves, did that bit. Then it said the ignition goes on first, then you put the fans on low, then you put the heat on high, before you put the bottom hose back on. Don't know why, maybe it just pushes a bit more out, who knows. That's been done. Now it's just a case of refilling it. So all I'm going to do with this one is to just fill it up with water, just regular water, until we reach the top here. And this is max. This has confused me. Now obviously I've taken the bottom hose off. The bottle still says, or does it say max? Or is that now just a bit too brown? It's still got water in it. It's not, oh no, it is on max. It's showing max. So I'm thinking, when I'm testing this out, that it's full, because that says max. That's what I've always believed, but it's not. So I'm going to now fill it up and see how we go on. So what happened here is I put the water in. So just cold water to see if this tests. If it is the water pump, then I don't want to just waste coolant. So I've decided just to put plain water in. Obviously the best of all worlds here is that I actually just figure out that it isn't the water pump, and I can just drain the coolant and fill it up again. So from here, The first screw that went and let some air out was this one. Well, we had air coming out, and then we had a stream of water, and that one was come out quite well. You obviously can see the height difference between here and there. So I tightened that one off, and then over this side, this one didn't flow quite as freely. So I tightened the other one up first, and then came back to this one and tightened this one after. Nothing came out of the little screw hole or the little bolt hole here. So again, whether that's a red herring or not, I don't know, but I've done it. So now I'm going to put that back on, just check that level, certainly around max, give it a start and see what happens. Other points to note that I didn't do, that I will do if I put actual coolant in, or when I put actual coolant in. I did jack the front of the car up to get access to the bottom hose, but now the car's obviously sitting back down front higher. That doesn't help get all the coolant out, so if you're flushing the coolant out, don't do that. Get the hose off, and if you can, try and lift the back end up and drop a bit of coolant out, is the recommendation. Next up, what we're doing is, I went to make a cup of coffee, or to brew the cafetiere, and while doing the cafetiere, I let it get to temperature. Temperature we're currently at, yes, more lights, and more lights. Minus some fuel as well. So we're currently sitting around the middle, and the last time I sort of was doing some testing, I thought we're about right then, because that's the operating temperature of where I would expect it to be. But then it started to slowly increase before it decided to go on a rapid ascent towards the red. So just give it more revs and see if I can get this needle to move at all. I've not yet heard the coolant fan kick in, which I know is another common thing on these, that the coolant fan likes to break, or the resistor, I think it is on it, likes to break. This fan does work. I have heard the fan going, but I haven't heard it on this particular round of testing. So yeah, I'll just cycle this through and see if I can get this needle to move. If the needle does not move, then it looks like we're problem solved, but I'll report back. Okay, so it looks to me as though that bleeding process has done wonders. I can't see now that there's a problem with it. I've got it up to temperature, left it for definitely a lot longer than I did before. I'm going to do it a bit longer again, once I put some fresh coolant in it itself, and see. But I think realistically, I think at the start I was thinking, am I going to create this amazing video which is suspected head gasket fixed for 15 quid? But I actually think that that's what it is. So if you have been told it could be suspected head gasket or something, it's not that complicated a job to go through and check definitely that cap. You can see if the cap's broken, and the thermostat is a bit of a faff to get it out. But if you get it out and you can test the thermostat, you won't even have to buy a new one. Beyond that, the water pump and the compression testing should be, quite a thorough bit of testing there to just prove that there's not a head gasket fault on this one. So I'll wrap that one up. I think I'm probably going to split into two. We'll have one video just for the bleeding, because that is a complicated process, but it seems to have done the job. And then the other one is just trying to diagnose the faults and just talking you through all the different bits and pieces. So this might be on the end of two videos.